The relentless march of technology dictates that 2026 is upon us, bringing with it not just another year but the inevitable specter of the Canon R7 Mark II, a looming mirrorless camera review topic that forces a crucial introspection for every existing Canon R7 owner. Will the original R7, that powerful, compact, APS-C performance beast, become instantly obsolete, relegated to the digital junk drawer, or does it still command a significant, unassailable value proposition for the modern YouTube creator gear advice seeker, the dedicated wildlife photography setup specialist, and the pragmatic professional photography gear user? The buzz around the R7 II is deafening, fueled by tantalizing rumors of a new sensor, perhaps a next-generation stack design to obliterate the notorious rolling shutter, an all-electronic shutter for silent, blisteringly fast capture without mechanical limitations, and an overall chassis and ergonomic overhaul designed to further blur the line between the crop sensor system and its full-frame siblings like the R6 Mark III, suggesting a major leap forward in the high-speed video creation hybrid category. But for those of us who have lived, breathed, and delivered commercial work with the original R7, this isn't just a simple spec sheet comparison, it's the heart of the camera obsolescence debate. The perpetual cycle where a perfect tool is suddenly deemed inadequate just because a marginally shinier one exists, a feeling intensified by a self-imposed or spousal gear buying ban list that many of us in the creator economy can relate to, making the decision to stick with the OG R7 a matter of principle and financial prudence. My own journey with this camera started in a place of deep skepticism. I was stubbornly clinging to my full-frame EOS R, pushing its meager 5 frames per second past sanity for intense action like high-octane motorsports and dusty drag racing events, treating it like the wrong tool for the job simply because of an affinity for full-frame glass. But the moment I transitioned to the R7, the difference was immediately, unequivocally transformative, feeling like strapping a turbocharger to my creative workflow with a jump to 15 frames per second mechanical and the adrenaline-pumping 30 frames per second electronic, a literal game-changer for capturing decisive moments in sports photography settings. Yes, the initial electronic shutter experience with fast-moving subjects was a jarring descent into Jello-on-wheels territory, a textbook example of poor readout speed causing distortion, but a little technical mastery and a firmware update, which is a huge factor in firmware updates' impact on camera longevity, made the issue manageable, allowing me to conquer the toughest motion blur challenges, proving that understanding a camera's limitations and adapting your technique is ultimately more valuable than chasing a fleeting theoretical spec advantage. We must also address the perpetual critique of any APS-C system, the low-light challenge, a legitimate concern for low-light video capabilities and event photography. But modern sensors combined with increasingly sophisticated in-body image stabilization and superior noise reduction software have closed that gap significantly. And besides, there are clever workarounds like the Essential Speed Booster Benefits accessory, which I use religiously, a cheat code that effectively reduces the crop factor and grants an extra stop of light, suddenly allowing my R7 to confidently engage in a full-frame cosplaying operation, transforming its light-gathering capabilities, a technique that is indispensable for mitigating the 4K crop factor in video and cementing its place as a formidable budget filmmaking camera. The mixed public reception the R7 received was classic internet polarization. Half the YouTube hot takes section lamented the rolling shutter and low-light noise, while the other half celebrated its unparalleled autofocus speed, sticky tracking, high burst rate, and impressive 10-bit color depth, leading to the undeniable conclusion that its performance is purely conditional on the user's intent and application. If you know its limitations, you can lean into its spectacular strengths, particularly the lightning-fast dual-pixel AF, which remains a pinnacle of Canon R system longevity and a core reason for its continued relevance, offering long-term camera investment security. I anticipate the R7 II will feature a stacked sensor with a readout speed likely matching or beating the original R6, potentially eliminating the mechanical shutter entirely and introducing advanced features like 6K video recording, which are exciting developments in 2026 camera predictions. But the real question is whether these advancements represent a need or merely a want for the average creator, who is already producing stunning, high-quality content for their YouTube creator gear advice videos or professional client work with the first-generation model. Ultimately, the Canon R7 versus R7 II speculation boils down to a fundamental photography philosophy. The original R7 wasn't just a camera, it was a teacher, forcing a crucial self-correction in technique, demanding problem-solving, and requiring adaptation to its quirks, skills that are worth infinitely more than the simple convenience of a faster processor or cleaner high ISO file, ensuring that the original R7 still has vast amounts of life left, with an autofocus system that's still ridiculously quick and dependable, image quality that's consistently killer, and an overall package that pushes me to be a sharper, more thoughtful photographer every time I pick it up, which is why I'm confidently riding the Canon R system longevity of the original R7 right through 2026 and into the next phase of the digital imaging revolution.